Many thanks for joining us here on Newsdesk to our very first story this morning. And some churches and a mosque in the Shanti region have been attacked in clashes at Old Tafo in Kumasi, despite the dusk to dawn curfew imposed on the community. Now, the police in the area have arrested one person in connection with the latest incident. The curfew, we are told, was imposed after clashes there yesterday left one person dead and several others injured. Let's go on to the phone lines now and speak to correspondent Erastus Asaidonko, who is joining us with the very latest in Otafo this morning. Erastus, good morning. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, a pretty bad situation it looks on the outside, but you have been to the place this morning. What's the situation there?
Well, it's as bad as you've been seeing it in the media. There is an uneasy calm at the moment, but we have, when you go to the various vicinities, that distraction is being realized now in the morning. And so people who are seeing the distraction to shops, to churches, it's rekindling a new sense of fear and pain. And people will want to sort of retaliate. And so you could see people still converging in the Zungos, in the old towns and all that. And so more military men have been brought in. More armed police are also patrolling the streets at the moment. Business has not picked up fully from yesterday, but it's picking up gradually. Now, this morning, we are also realizing that in the night when I was with the patrol team, we heard that they were setting a church ablaze in the Azaria end of the Old Tafo area. This morning, we went there, and it was true. The International Global Christian Church, where they keep their instruments and other things, was set ablaze. The whole place is burnt. We also went to the Pentecost Church within the Azaria community. The whole windows and doors, glass doors and everything have been vandalized, including other properties in there. So business is picking up slowly, and many of the banks in the area are still closed. They did not come to work, and various schools as well have refused to reopen as of now.
Erastus, I want to take you back a bit. Tell us about the cause of this chaos in Otafo in the first place. Let's just go back a bit, and then we can come to some other issues that are happening there.
Well, the stories are many, but then what I have picked, in fact, from several sources within, and what I have also picked on the ground after following it for some time, is that it started about last year, somewhere middle of last year, where the Muslim community started raising concerns about encroachment on their side of the Tafo cemetery. When you go to the Tafo cemetery, we have the Christian section and we have the Muslim section. Now, they said that the Swami artisans were encroaching on their land, and so they wanted to build a wall around it. Now, they started building a wall without recourse to the authorities. That is what the authorities are saying. Now, it got to a certain end, and then the chief came in to say that where they're stretching the wall to, now they are extending it beyond their boundaries, and so they should stop. And so both parties were called to a meeting at the Mampontein Divisional Commander's office. They resolved that nobody should step foot at the site till the case has been resolved. Now, it happened that the chief was told days after that they were still constructing the wall. So he went there with his people. Now, one side, that's the Muslim side, are saying that when the chief came there, they demolished part of the wall, and then the chief slapped one of their members. And so they also returned the slap, and then he brought in his men to retaliate, and then it resulted in this conflict. The chief is also saying he did not slap anybody, but then they rather brought in men to counter him. So there is a two different story to that when it comes to that. But the bottom line is that they are fighting over a wall being constructed around a cemetery which belongs to the Muslim community within the Tafo area.
Okay, and I'm trying to look at this particular situation. I mean, it did lead to that curfew being imposed on the community. I mean, that dusk to dawn curfew. And these incidents you speak of, I mean, the burning of one church and the destroying of another, all these happened over the course of last night, right? Between last night and this morning, right?
The burning of the church happened in the night. Yesterday, after the skirmishes, I was with the patrol team, and when we heard around 8 p.m., we heard that they have set the church ablaze. So we followed the patrol team.
And 8 p.m. That was after the curfew hours.
Within the curfew hours, in fact.
Okay.
The youth there made a blockade in a place called Azaria. Within the old Tafo vicinity, and they will not go to sleep, and they were hooting and booing at the police and military patrol team. So they formed a perimeter and entered the crowd, drove them away, but then they heard that the church was set ablaze. They sent the fire team over there to quench the fire. This morning, I think we are seeing pictures of the church building. One is the International Global Christian Church, where they keep their instruments, is burnt completely, and they also vandalized the glass windows and doors of the Pentecost Church within the Azaria community. I've also heard that a mosque within the old Tafo vicinity was also vandalized as well. And so that is what we are learning. But the cause of damages along the street, shops, the banks, are also seen this morning.
And the police hasn't managed to arrest any persons this morning? Some
people have been arrested. In fact, throughout the night, I learned this morning that one guy who used a locally manufactured pistol to fire at the security men has been arrested together with a locally manufactured pistol. He has been disarmed. A number of people who were also violating the curfew hours, about 7 of them in my presence, were arrested as well. So quite a number have been arrested, but we'll get the round figure in the course of the day.
Erastus, many thanks for that update on Newsdesk this morning. And that was Erastus Asaidonko bringing us a lot more from Old Tafo. But let's still stay in Old Tafo because we do have another correspondent also on this same beat. And joining me also by phone now is Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin, our correspondent in the Ashanti region, also bringing us a lot more on this particular incident. And Nuruddin, I believe you have been speaking to a number of eyewitnesses, and indeed you're trying to speak to the family of one person we are told has been killed in this latest violence there. But let's talk about what the people there have been telling you, really.
Well, they are somehow happy that the heavy presence of military and then police in the area. They told me they were able to have a good sleep. I mean, if there wasn't any intervention by the police and the military, they wouldn't know how the situation would have been by now. And so the calm has been restored. I've been speaking to one eyewitness who told me he was standing right where the guy was shot in the chest, and he has explaining to me what happened at the scene.
Okay, listen. You were there when the incident occurred, when the police officer shot the guy. You've seen what happened. I mean, tell me exactly how it happened.
Yeah, I was there where the guy was shot, but the policeman was staying in Achuma Rural Bank Gate. So the guy was trying to go near the policeman. So the policeman was telling the guy that may everybody go back. So the guy was just say the guy not even go near the policeman. So the policeman was shot the gun straight bullet. It's not he have to shot the gun he had to shot the gun on the air before he shot the straight. But he just shot the gun straight bullet, 2 bullets. One was catch in hand, one was catch in chest. So the guy was cut in chest. The guy going dead now. Because we tried to save the guy life, by now we don't get him back.
So what you are saying is that the guy was trying to go closer to the police officer, and the police officer asked them to go back, and eventually he was shot. Is that exactly what you are saying?
Yeah, the guy was staying there, but he's not going to. You know, the guy no hold any weapons. He just stick Wolam, but he not even hold any weapons. So the guy not even go near the policeman. The policeman was just shocking.
So he was standing exactly where?
Yeah, I was standing there.
He was standing in front of the bank. The guy was standing in front of the bank.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nurudi, we just heard you speak to that gentleman a while ago, and from what he says, I gather there's some form of police brutality on the ground.
No, for now, I haven't seen any police brutality. What I saw some few minutes ago was a driver who the military officers asked him to stop. I mean, what I saw was that the police patrol team were coming, and he, instead of him to give him way, he actually was also trying to get his way down. So the military personnel asked him to stop, and they had some exchange of words. There wasn't anything serious, and so he was allowed to go. So I'm currently at where the mosque was burned. I will be going to where we are told one church was also vandalized in the night. So where I'm now, I'm at the church where the mosque was burned. I'm just trying to find out exactly what happened. If you wouldn't mind, I'll just speak to...
Sure, please do. I'll come back to you shortly and get that particular interview you are just about getting for us there. And that was Ashanti Regional Correspondent Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin. He's currently at the mosque that was burnt down, we are told, sometime last night. But let's go on to the phone lines once more. Speak to the chief of the Zongo community at Old Tafo, in the person of Alhaji Seidu Chepsa, who's joining us on phone now with some more. Alhaji, good morning. Many thanks for your time here on News Desk.
Good morning.
So, Alhaji, I mean, really, the situation we are all hearing of this morning is one that we are not too enthused about. And the first question on the minds of many will be, why violence, really?
Well, nobody don't. Why violence? That is the question. Hello?
Yes, indeed.
That is something we ourselves cannot understand. The violence. You see? Because the group, the Muslim youth, they claim a certain portion of land belongs to them, which is occupied by the mechanics right now. Nana intervened, as Nana, I mean, Protavo chief, intervened and said, look, this is not part of your cemetery. The youth claim they have a paper which gives them that authority. He said, okay, go and bring the paper. The paper never came. Then the following Saturday, they went back to do their job, continue. So they now went there, and there was violence. Somebody manhandled him, and Nana had to go to police and the hospital for treatment, you know. So everything seemed to have died down. Then another group of youth from Tafo, because they were enraged, also went down to pull down the fence that they had created. Then they called in the Muslim group, called in their colleagues from Kumasi and other parts, and there was a clash. The whole problem is that tempers are very high now. You know, tempers are very high because the Tafo people are saying, you came as settlers, we welcomed you and gave you this piece of land. Now you want to take what you want and not what we have agreed to give you. You see? And it's very difficult to understand why the Muslim youth are behaving that way. This thing has never happened in Tafo. It has never happened. We've lived peacefully, both Muslims, Northerners, and Ashantis.
So if over the period, based on what you're saying, you've been able to coexist, why such a situation now? I mean, you've been able to coexist for so long. Why?
This is what I think the security agencies will have to go deep into it. I can't understand it. It's not just a question of the first you want to take a land that doesn't belong to you. Even though they claim they have a paper, the paper has never come. But even if you have a paper, is that how to go about it?
So you believe some people just unlawfully want to take something that doesn't necessarily belong to them, and this is what has sparked this whole violence?
Well, from the face of it, yes. Because I don't think, because I know we had already erected pillars along our borders, along the land that was given to us since the 40s. You see, why have they decided suddenly to go into the other side? This is what I can't understand.
So, from where you said, what do you propose to be a solution to this situation? I mean, really, it's gotten to a point where someone has even lost his life. We wouldn't want to get
to. It's too bad. It's too bad. Honestly, there is tension in the place.
So, what do you propose to be the solution to this problem?
We have to meet the group, the leaders of that group, and to talk to them and find out what is really happening.
But while at it, will you not also speak to your members, your group?
This is what I mean.
Okay.
This is what I mean. We have to meet the group and judge all with them, and then see how we can bring tempers down. Because that piece of land they claim is theirs, until I see the paper, which gives them that the authority over it, it doesn't belong to them. I don't accept it. Because I've been in the know about the extent of our land for a very long time. You know, you cannot get up suddenly to say that your boundary extends beyond what we have already created.
So immediately, what are you doing about the situation as we speak now?
We want tempers to come down. Now the police are there. The police, they are doing their own job, but we also have to go in and talk to them. But we want tempers to go down. I don't believe even their leaders are right now at Tafo. They are all scattered. This is what I'm informed. You know, that the group leaders are not available. Some are in Accra, some are in other parts of the country. But if the calm comes down, now there's a curfew. If the police thinks that the situation is normal, they lift it and everybody comes down, then we can talk. You know.
Okay. Right. Large, many thanks for your time on News Desk this morning. We are all hoping for calm at Old Tafo, and that was Alhaji Seidu Chipsa, who happens to be the chief of the Zongo community at Old Tafo in the Ashanti region. You're watching News Desk here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. We'll be back shortly with some more news. Don't go away.